Welcome, everybody, to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest-running sales training podcast in the history of podcasting. My name is Bryan Neal.
My name is Bill Caskey.
Here every week for your listening enjoyment. You've heard us talk about it, and several of you have joined, finally, the Insider program. It's fantastic. Great topics, great live coaching with Bill, and encourage you, if you've been thinking about it, just do it. Just do it. It'll be worth well worth the cash and the time spent. Plus, you're going to meet a bunch of people that think like you and listen to the podcast. So just go to advancedsellingpodcast.com, look for the Insider program. There's all sorts of ways to join. You should do that.
Yeah, I'd love to see you there. We got probably 10 new members in August. We're shooting for 10 new members a month. We want to get that thing up to a couple hundred people. And
That's awesome.
And we have good content coming up.
I love it.
I don't know. Sometimes I say things that I should not say in front of people and in an attempt to be funny.
Yeah.
But I also am getting better at noticing when I'm about to say something and catching myself.
Yeah, that's good.
I was at working out the other day, saw a guy that I knew in high school. I've seen him since then, but really great guy. His name was Al. And I said, "Hey, Al, how's it going?" He was on a machine. He goes, "Hey, Bill, how's it going, man? You looking good?" That was it. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm stretching in the other area, and I can see him coming over. He goes, "Hey, Bill, I just I wanted to tell you I saw an old friend of yours who was on the basketball team at the high school at a reunion. And he asked me about you." And I said, "Oh, Mike Taylor's his name." I was like, "Oh God, I was a great guy." And he's up in Columbia City. Is that near Fort Wayne?
By Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's telling me about Mike, and he's telling me about this, and he's telling me about his workout. He goes, "When I come here, I don't talk to anybody." He said, I don't, I'm 45 minutes in and out. If people come up to me, I don't talk to them. I don't like talking to anybody there. And as he said that, I'm thinking, well, okay, one of two things. Either I feel really good that you've broken your rule from me, my man. You've broken your rule and you're talking to me in excess of the 30-second rule, whatever that rule is, or you're done. You're done with me and I need to leave you alone. And I thought I should say that. I think you would get a kick out of that. And I thought, no, because you would get a kick out of it.
I would.
Would you have said it or not?
I don't. It depends on my mood. But if I would have said it, I would have felt bad after I said it. I would have been like, I shouldn't have said anything.
Even if he laughed.
Even if he laughed, because he would have been like, yeah, I was talking to Bill and it was going great. And then what an a-hole. At the end, it's like, whoops.
That's right.
That's funny.
So good. So it sounds like I made the right move by.
Or maybe he is just lacks a little self-awearness.
That's the third. Yeah.
Did you love the people who talk for like 20 minutes about listening? That's sort of we go to a speaking gig or something. There's some, veteran sales guy's been selling 30 years and he'll literally talk 20 minutes straight about how listening is the most important part of sales.
God.
And I'm just going, And everyone listening to this program knows the guy I'm talking about, a person that does that. Anyway, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got
good filter. Good filter.
Okay. So I've got a topic today I want to talk about is I've got a client who's in the professional services industry. He does tax law, corporate stuff, big corporate stuff, how to help companies reduce tax. And as you can imagine, that's a rather difficult thing. I mean, it's not a cold call thing. I mean, you could call companies up and say, "Hey, having any tax problems or having any problems?" But CPAs don't make cold calls traditionally, and they shouldn't, because they have value in other ways. And so he's asking me, he said, "What would you recommend as a way to generate new business, new clients, new acquaintances?" And he's got a pretty good base of clients, so referrals is always top on the list, I think. Yeah. Introductions on LinkedIn or wherever. Yeah. But even that is difficult for some people who what I call accidental salespeople who are not really accustomed to that whole referral thing. It's hard to have that conversation. But he is going to do that. But I came up with some other areas and I said, the key word that you've got to focus on is visibility. How can you become visible in the world so that people who have the problems you solve can reach out, can opt in, can raise their hand, whatever. And I was thinking that, the problem of visibility is almost a universal problem. Mm-hmm. And it's not about finding the pain and finding the problem. It's first just being visible.
Right, finding you.
Exactly. Yeah. Somewhere where they can watch you operate, hear you operate, whether it's video, podcast, whatever it is. Or maybe it's a speech. Maybe it's a speech at the local chamber of commerce. I mean, it doesn't have to be technical and digital. But we were thinking about that. What do you think about that as like we should all be asking ourselves, am I visible enough?
Yes. And I've been a little ranty about this with some of our clients too. And some of this is because it's where we are, where we came from, and that whole thing is one of the reasons, because you and I've been training and coaching people for a long time and with some pretty good results, but there was always like a little thing like missing for me a little bit. And this is part of what I realized, that you can train someone till you're blue in the face for dozens and dozens, hundreds of hours on how to ask questions, how to handle an objection. But if you can't get a meeting with someone, it's all futile. It's a big waste.
That's right.
And the way to get meetings isn't cold calling anymore.
Right.
And so we've got to like rethink this whole idea of even training and coaching. That 80% of it is get the meeting.
Totally.
Because the people aren't like they used to be buyers. They're not, I don't think buyers gameplay anymore. I know I get some really people I respect. We used to say this all the time. David Sandler said this, that buyers lie. I'm like, I don't really think they lie. I think that's an old thing. I really do. I think you can force them into being, not forthcoming because you're too salesy. But if you're not salesy when you're sitting there, I don't need to train you a whole bunch on that. What I do need to train you on is how to get the meeting.
That's right.
That's the thing.
That's right.
So that's I told you I'd rant.
That was a heck of a rant. Well, we gotta. I think what you're saying is right. I do think though that buyers are reluctant. I don't think they lie. I think they're just reluctant. Most buyers are reluctant buyers, unless you have a car and it's broken down and you have $100,000 in your pocket and you're walking by the Mercedes dealership and you need a car. You're not a reluctant buyer. You're a eager buyer. But most in business to business, they're reluctant. And so what we've got to do is we've got to understand how to overcome that reluctance, or how to get past it, get through it.
Yeah.
And so I do think they don't lie. I don't like that either. I think, we all, anyway. So the question is how do we become more visible so that we can get those meetings?
Be found.
And so is it okay if I share with you a couple things
I love
you came up with? And again, this is for him, but number one is some kind of as insight video series. And in his case, it might be a tax advisory insights, or what has changed in the law. What are some mistakes you see people making every day? Whatever that video, but it's a weekly insights video. And I think that could apply to we kind of do it here. This is a weekly podcast that we do. We're offering insights into what we see in the marketplace. But if you're a sales professional today and you're not doing some kind of weekly programming that puts on display your value, I think you're missing.
Oh, yes. Really, really good. And I think where people get hung up on this one is it sounds monumental. It sounds, like a weekly series sounds like, oh my God, all this pressure, and you got to think of it in a much lighter way, because what you're doing here is building the library. It's not about like, well, I've got to do this, and if I stop doing this, the world's going to end, or I'll never get a client again. It's not that. It's building a library. And once the library is built, the effort diminishes a little bit because you got the library built. Then it's a matter of leveraging the library that's built to get the meeting, not continuing to build more library. And you can do both. So
you can do both, but
you can do both.
If it's always about, well, what's the next new program? You don't think these media companies make a lot of money on Friends reruns?
Oh my God. Seriously.
Right. I mean,
right.
And they're popular. I mean, millions of people. In fact, people like that better than the sitcoms.
They do.
Today.
Yes.
So this idea that, well, I have to do it over and over. No, you can do 10, get one or two good ones that you say, oh, that was a winner there. It'll get more views, and then figure out a way to repurpose that.
There you go. Good.
Love so that's number one is I think anything. And there's one of the gentlemen in Insider does weekly webinar. Monthly webinars, and he's done them for like 3 years. I think he is. And That's how he's built his business.
Right.
Doesn't do the same one every month. He does one, but it's the same general topic. He changes the title and changes a little bit, but it's always relevant to the people.
Yes. The coach I hired, David Meltzer, who I follow and have become friends with. He, in COVID, started doing free Friday trainings. It was this thing, free Friday trainings. He's now got a TV production company and studio and all this stuff. He still does his free Friday trainings every Friday.
Yeah.
Now he's like 6 years into it.
I think that reluctance on the part of some of our listeners might be, well, why would I give away something that I'm selling? And I think we have to be realistic there and say, you and I could give all of our stuff away. We could give it all away on a 4-hour video. And there's a lot of people who would say, I still can't implement it.
They can't. We know this. How many times have you met someone who, and this is not a rub on any listener,
no,
you met someone who listens to the podcast and then you go to actually train them and coach them, and there's just a missing piece there that they can't put all the stuff together at once. Yeah.
For sure. So I say don't be afraid of that. Okay, here's number 2.
Yep.
LinkedIn article publishing, and this is not just a post. This is an article that you can feel free to use AI or feel free to, maybe have some help, but publish an article once a month that has to do with your business. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. If you're selling business to business, then I think good article writing is worth it. And we've talked about article writing off and on, but I still feel like LinkedIn is a good place for you to publish these articles once a month, because like you said, Bryan, they become assets then.
Yes.
And you're seeing somebody next week and they bring up something to you, and you know that you published an article on LinkedIn 3 months ago on this topic. You say to them, repeat after me, you say to them, hey, what's interesting is I wrote an article about this very topic. Can I send it to you?
Yes.
And they will say, wow,
you wrote an article? You're a writer?
Are you an author? No, but you're not doing it for that reason. You're doing it because you wrote something and it's useful. And would they like to see a copy? Nobody else is doing that.
Nobody. No, that's the trick. It's all sorts of good. Yeah. Nobody is doing that. Can I add a little?
Oh, absolutely.
To that one?
I want you to. Yeah.
You can, people that write articles, interview people for their articles. It's part of the way you write an article. One of the really fun things to do is to call someone, whether it's a client or maybe a prospect, and say, hey, I'm writing an article about this topic, and I'm interviewing COOs of publicly traded REITs to talk about tax strategy. And would you be available for 10 minutes? I could ask you these 3 questions.
Awesome.
Next thing you know, you're in a conversation with a COO of a REIT. That's your target. They may or may not ask you what you do, but you're in a place with them that you were not in. Way better than a cold call. Access. If you're an author, you get access. So
love that
for all these.
That's a $1 million idea, right?
Seriously,
there. It really is,
right?
I mean, not if you don't execute it, it's not worth anything. Now it sucks if you don't. But if you use it and do that, right? And then actually, you got to go do and write the article, because then what's going to happen? You're going to send the article link to the 3 people you interviewed, or 2 people, or 1 person.
Doesn't matter.
And they will then feel like, oh, well, they kind of spotlighted me, and, make sure you don't take a shot at them. I mean, this is a friendly atmosphere. But I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's a plus. That's not a +1. That's a +11.
+11.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one I gave him. I said, where do the people who you want to talk to, where do they show up?
Oh, that's great.
And show up where they show up. And you can show up at Chamber of Commerce meetings. I would rather you show up on the docket, on the platform at a Chamber of Commerce meeting. And maybe it doesn't have to be the physical platform, but maybe you go to your local chamber or whomever, wherever that place is, and say, hey, I've got a master class that I want to do, or webinar on this topic, and I'm looking for some couple other people to join me on it. And then I'm looking for you to sponsor it and promote it.
So good.
And they will. This is kind of like getting on a podcast, although that's hard to do, because you almost have to hire a PR firm. And then we can give you the email that they send, because we get it every day.
Yeah, right.
It's the same email from every PR firm. Hey, really enjoyed your topic last month.
Exactly.
It's all different fonts. Anyway,
different fonts. It's like the old radio commercial for Meyer. Remember
Oh,
that?
I love that commercial.
Those are so great. We were
I
going to
love that
Meyer,
commercial.
and they
I love that.
repurposed.
Uh-huh.
I'm reading. This is my own Chat GPT conversation, and I can't find it, or I can find it. This is not up in my office right now in my studio. I take these clarity breaks and I go away with this open notebook and write ideas down. One of the questions I wrote down 2 clarity breaks ago was, where do CROs of manufacturing companies hang out? I literally wrote that question.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, but, and then I went to Chat GPT. I'm like, what are the best conferences to meet CROs with, these, and Chat GPT gives me all these conferences. But what I'm saying is, like, that's the question we've got to ask ourselves. Where are they? And then you got to take this. So now I've got this data. This is one of our projects now. We're saying, where are we going to go?
Yeah.
We need to go be with them. We're sitting here waiting for them to find us. I'm like, they're already there. Yeah. Why would we wait? Just go. And this might be going backwards on the idea. Be on the platform. Yes. Be a speaker. Yes. Do all those things. But just being in close proximity.
That's right.
Is really good. Just being nearby. Just go to, you don't even need to get a badge for the conference. Just go to where the conference is and go hang out at the coffee shops and the restaurants and meet people and introduce yourself to people. And you just don't know. Giving yourself proximity bias to get close to that, I think is a good thing to do.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So visibility, exposure doesn't always mean being at the front of the room with a microphone.
Not always.
Although I like that. I mean, I like that for us. And I think if you're cut out that way, that's where you really belong eventually. But don't start there. If you're not comfortable doing it, don't start.
No, I love it.
Okay, I've got one more here.
Yeah.
And this is if you can't find where the people are, then host the party for the people and let them come to you. And that could be an executive series. It could be a brunch. It could be a champagne brunch where you get all liquored up. I mean,
what a great idea.
But just host the party. We talked.
Be the host. Be the host. Be the host of the party. That is such an easy thing to do. It sounds hard. It's not. Just host a meetup. Like, just say we're going to be somewhere and show up. No topic, no agenda. It's easy. That's easy. Then you can structure it more. That's great.
Yeah.
Great advice. Is your client going to do any of those things? Did we know yet?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's in the process right now.
That's great.
Three of the 10. I didn't go through all 10, but
awesome.
I saved the best for
It's a good one. That's a book. That sounds like the next 12 bold moves.
Could be
12 bold actions.
So if you are not a member of Insider yet, we'd love to have you at least take a look at it. advancedsellingpodcast.com/insider. October 3rd is our next session. We did one, and whenever you join, you get access to like the previous 6 months or 12 months. I can't remember what it is. You get a lot of content. So if you have heard us talk about it and we've talked about some topics that you find interesting, join, and then you will get access to all the past episodes.
Yeah. You get access to all the people. That's the other thing, too. All the people. It's a great group of people. So
it is.
Now's your time. All right.
See you next time.
Bye.